If there's one tax I always look forward to every season of Big Brother Niger, it's got to be the Aquafina Paddy, my Paddy of Life tax. Why? Because number one, it fosters friendships. And number two, because the aftermath is always very dramatic. I mean, from the No Lose God season to the Level Up season to the All Star season, even to the Big Brother Titan season, one thing you can tell is friendships in Big Brother's house has a way of creating drama. And tonight was not an exception, as housemates gave us a bit of drama, a bit of surprises here and there as they came out to write speeches about their party of life. Now, the task was for them to write two speeches, one for a current housemate and the other one for an ex-housemate who they consider to be their party of life. Now, for some housemates, we already know who their parties is going to be, but for some of them, it was a bit tricky to decipher. And when I'm talking about the housemates, I'm talking about are the likes of Midday, Koyin, Dede, and of course Ruboy, because these ones we've seen them in some dynamics, and we are thinking, who are they going to choose to be their party of life? Now, one by one, they wrote their various speeches. An hour later, they filed into the arena where the ninja gave the head of house Zita the brief to read out the instructions of how the tax was going to go. Now, the first housemate to climb the stage to read his speech for both his party of life, a current housemate, and the party of life that is an ex-housemate is Culture. Yes, guys, Culture picked Jason J as his party of life in the house, and then picked Tracy, which is a no-brainer, as his party of life ex-housemate. Yes, guys, and he says some very beautiful words, and to me, I feel like his speech, maybe it's because it's the first one, actually got to me more than most of the others. Yes, guys, and at the end of the day, he picked Rude Boy to give a bracelet to. So the person you picked as your party of life, the current housemate, you give a necklace to, and someone you feel like you want to cultivate friendship or you want to continue friendship with outside of the house, you give a bracelet, and he gave it to Rude Boy. The next housemate to climb the stage was Sultana. Yes, guys, Sultana picked Gigi Jasmine as her party of life evicted. And it's kind of funny to me though, because I mean, she's here saying all these beautiful things about Gigi Jasmine. Meanwhile, Gigi Jasmine is out here denying her more than Peter denied Jesus Christ. I'm like, okay. I do not blame her, because obviously she doesn't know what is going on the outside, because the last time probably she checked, she thought that she and Gigi Jasmine were actually cool. Yes, guys, imagine her surprise if she comes out and finds out the things that Gigi Jasmine has been saying about her. Ooh. Anywho, she picked Jason J as her party of life in the house. No surprises here, even though she actually didn't write a full speech for him. She said she got emotional while writing or reading about Gigi Jasmine and all of that. Anywho, she picked also Isabelle as somebody she wants to foster friendship with. She said that initially when they came in, she actually didn't get to know Isabelle, but now they are probably parties of life. Yes, guys. Now, the next housemate to walk on the stage is K Bobo. But before I talk about K Bobo, please, they should give K Bobo proper medical care, because the way he was sounding, I think his health is really not 100% okay. Anyways, his party of life outside of the house or ex-housemate is Ivata. Yay! I live for that shit. He said that Ivata is a work of art. She has 50 tattoos. He wants to get to know her better outside of the house and all of that. I'm like, okay, K-Bobo, make sure you do not lock us out of your social media, because we want to see. Yes, guys. And then he picked Imisi as his party of life in the house. That's so cute, because Capable and Imisi have gone a long way. I mean, I remember from the start of the season, they were actually cool before their fallout. And that's the beautiful thing he talked about, even though they had their fallout, they are still very much cool. Beautiful. That's what friendships are for. And for the person he gave his bracelet to, he gave it to Kola, and he says this is one person he wants to get to know more. Now, the next person is Isabelle. Now, Isabelle's party are Ivata for evicted housemate and Sultana, which for me I found very somehow. I thought it would have been maybe Kanyikumi or maybe Big So. So I thought they were cool. Anywho, she calls Sultana her snail. She says it's because she takes her time to do things, and she says she wants to go on trips with Sultana, and she respects their friendship, and she doesn't really care what anybody says, whether they say that Sultana said this, whether they say that Sultana said that. That's not her business. And then she also, of course, gave her bracelet to Imisi. It was so beautiful seeing the three of them on that stage. The next housemate to walk on that stage is Jason J. Now, Jason called a lot of people. He called Joanna, Faith. He called Dede. Now, when he called Dede, her first one was like, I was like, what's that face, Dede? What's that face? You guys actually were very cool before whatever it is that happened between all of you happened. The next housemate is Midday. Now, I was waiting patiently for this one. Who will she make her paddy of life? Well, she said her paddy of life is in the house, of course, Bright Morgan. Okay, and then outside of the house is Doris, and she says that Bright Morgan is a trustworthy paddy, is it a nurturing paddy, or what did she call him? And she said that even though they have a romantic relationship, people will wonder, why would you call him your paddy of life? But it doesn't matter. He's been there for her. He stood by her and all of that. So he is her paddy. Now, Bright Morgan's paddy of life outside of the house, Gigi Jasmine. And I'm like, many things. Okay. Gigi Jasmine, and he said that Gigi is loving, nurturing, caring, and very trustworthy. And he also mentioned the part where she used to do stuff for him, even his laundry. I'm like, wow, many things we didn't get to see in that house. And his party of life in the house is Midday. When he looks into her eyes, he said that when he looks into Midday's eyes, he sees his mother. I'm like, okay, we're getting there. Outside girlfriend, hope you hold yourself tight though, because he said the first time they met, there was butterflies in his tummy. They spoke. I'm like, okay. And then Kola, of course, is the party he wants to foster more friendship with outside of the house. So he got the bracelet. Now, Imisi's party of life outside of the house, Big So-So. And inside of the house, of course, it's Kola. Well, that's a no-brainer. She says that Kola is the purest person she's ever met. He's a lover of God. He's caring, he's nurturing. And I'm like, it got so emotional at some point. I'm like, okay. And then for the housemate she wants to foster more friendship with, she said K-Bobo. Isn't that cute? I'm just loving it for K-Bobo and Imisi at this point. Now, Koyin, his party of life outside of the house is Big So-So. He says that Big So-So is like a mom figure to him. She's spiritual. She talks to him about stuff. She even fought for him when his best friend called him fish. Which is very ironic anyways, because the best friend, that called him fish, that his other party of life fought for, is actually the one that is his party of life in the house, which is Dede. And he says some very beautiful things about Dede, how she's always, encouraging him, advising him about the hate factor, accepting him as he is, not judging him, not giving up on him. Like, that is beautiful. That is very beautiful. Now, I told you guys earlier that I was a bit skeptical on who he would pick as his party of life, because I was like, maybe he would pick Rude Boy, because we've heard in his diary session how he said he would pick Rude Boy, but apparently he didn't, and he picked Dede. Also, Rude Boy didn't pick him. He picked, I think, Jason J. Yes, guys. So, yeah. So, the person he wanted to foster more friendship with is Manson. Yes, I hope that's correct. Yes, guys. And at the end of the day, it was so beautiful listening to him talk about Dede. Now, when it got to Dede's turn, I was so surprised and shocked that she picked Ibifubara, the housemate who is her party of life outside of the house. I actually thought she was going to pick Ortega because she has spoken very highly of him in her diary session. But she said Ibifubara because she is a kind person. She is a walking textbook. I think that's how she categorized her, and she said she wants to know her better and foster more relationship or friendship with her. When it came to the parties in the house, she mentioned Joanna, she mentioned Midday, and then she says, in her own words, saving the best for last. And she talked about Koyin, how Koyin has always been there for her, how Koyin, whenever she's about to go near milk, he will remind her that she's lactose intolerant. When she's trying to raise her cup to get more alcohol at parties, he will be like, no. When she's trying to like go near spices or pepper, he reminded her that she has ulcer. When she goes missing in parties, he will start looking for her. It's so beautiful, like the speech that they gave to each other. Yes, guys, Telma's party of life, Joanna in the house, Sabrina out of the house. I'm like, okay, I was actually expecting Ortega. Yeah. Now, the highlight for me has got to be Kola. Kola's time cable. Of course, I know he's gonna pick back Sabrina for the housemates out of the house. And for the person in the house that is his party of life, I also know he's going to pick Imisi. But when he was calling out other people's names that are also his paddies, something just told me, isn't it? This guy wrote Dede's name. Kola cannot do this speech without calling Dede's name. And he didn't call Dede's name, but I knew it, right? That he actually wrote Dede's name somewhere. And he confirmed it the moment he stepped out and he had a conversation with Zita. And he said the fact that Dede went before him and did not call his name, he decided to, remove her name. He's giving aura for aura. He's giving Egusi for Egusi. I'm like, this boy, you cannot be saved at this point. You cannot be saved, because what is that? We had Zita. She also talked about her party of life, and she said, of course, on the outside is Dambuskid, on the inside is Rude Boy. Rude Boy actually made her his party of life in the house. And for the outside, who did Rude Boy pick again for the outside? I think I have forgotten. Faith's party of life on the outside, Ortega. Faith's party of life in the house, Joanna. But then he spoke about culture and his story, how he used to gather Aquafina bottles, to sell for 1,500 and living under the bridge. That guy don't see life. Oh, you see that culture, he has seen life. Now, Mensa's own, I don't understand it though. I understand Dambo's kid because that has been a given, but I do not understand him saying faith. I don't understand faith. I'm like, are they that close? Are they, like, honestly, this is no shades. Are they close like that? Because when I picture Manson, I'm thinking maybe in the house, I'm thinking maybe Koyin, I'm thinking Rude Boy, I'm thinking maybe even Telma. But Faith, I did not expect that. Maybe there's something that Big Brother is not showing us that we are not watching. Also, because again, Mide picked Doris and she was saying all these beautiful things. I'm like, we never saw all these things now. Anywho, dramatic night. And let me just say you guys something. The cameraman is messy. When Koyin was talking about Dede, if you see the way the camera just focused on Isabelle, like, I'm like, what are you looking for? And then when Dede was talking about Koyin, the camera just zoomed into Kola's face. At some point, Kola had to drink aquafina to calm his nerves down. Like, what's it be this? That cameraman is very messy. But do I love it? Oh, please, I do. Let that cameraman not stop. Let me know your highlights and what you think about the tax tonight in the comment section. And also tell me what you guys think about Kola removing Dede's name. For me, I don't actually think that he did anything wrong, but it would have been more interesting if Kola had gone before Dede. Imagine if he had gone before Dede and called Dede. I love me some drama. Yes, guys. I'm sure by now Kola has started his media rounds again. I pray he shocks me and doesn't do that. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for being part of my channel. If you have not yet subscribed, kindly click on the subscription button. Click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I post any new video. Until I come your way again, I remain your darling girl, Ezinnemwilliams. Have yourself a beautiful, wonderful day ahead.